This show is part of the HeadStuff podcast network.
How's your 10K going?
Well, I'll have you know that it turns out I actually didn't sign up for it. I just, again, had the idea to do it. So it's meant to be 2 weeks or something. I'm probably not going to do it. But I tell you, I did get a great feeling telling you I was going to do it. You was being jealous, and that's enough for me.
That's an amazing ability you have to just say that you're going to do things and present that to the world, and then everyone goes, "That's fantastic, Tony, fair enough." And then just that reaction is enough. You don't actually have to do the thing at all.
Absolutely. I've realised, or at least it's been confirmed by my parents after they divorced, that my feelings are the truth. And I've kind of navigated my whole life that way. You know, yes, I think, might not be accurate, might not be factually true, but what I'm feeling right now, like say Sonny, won a sack race. And a lot of people said that he went a bit before the go.
False start.
A bit of a false start.
Yeah.
However, he also did lap a load of the children. And as far as I'm concerned, that, it doesn't even factor because I love him so much and I want him to win. He won. You know what I mean? If I've maybe got, if I've come third on something because like 5 people, quit or just didn't want to do it, that is as good as me, coming third.
And did the parents object to you painting a tunnel on the wall and then the other kids in the sacks
slammed into it?
Well, they didn't actually know who it was. They were like, "What's going on with that tunnel?"
Yeah.
Like, "What's going on with that?" And they're like, "No, Siobhan, no!" And then, And then I did leave a load of kind of like Mawam bars on like a target. A big like a target on the ground. So
the target was there.
The target was there on the ground.
So you can't be blamed for
and all the kids were there with the Mawam.
And flumps.
And flumps were there. And they were like, "What are you doing there?" And I was twiddling my mustache and I was cutting a long rope. But it was taking too long.
Strange they didn't suspect you.
But what happened was so annoying. The kids ate the flumps.
Yes.
I was like, "Oh, what's going on?" I had cut the rope and then when I looked up, sure didn't the anvil fall on my head?
It fell on your head.
Oh, you're kidding.
That's
wild.
Ridiculous.
I know. It's
Irony.
crazy.
Irony.
No, it was iron.
Anyway, I do think you need psychiatric intervention.
When you're walking past someone asks you for money, do you say, yes, I will give you some, and then you just keep walking?
They're attractive. They're very attractive.
Hot and loud.
And a little bit sad.
He was the best guy around.
Oh my. Is it hot in here or what?
You're an attractive guy.
It's the fabulous Tony Cantwell.
I'm talking about Shane Daniel Byrne.
Summer has sprung all across the nation and people are looking for ways to have a refreshing, cool drink without such a heavy alcohol content.
Some have taken to a spritz of a water bottle, but most people have taken to a re-raw Irish lager shandy.
An Irish solution to a very new Irish problem, sun.
Sure, I haven't seen it in years.
There was a good summer in 95, but of course we didn't have re-raw, totally tropical shandy available in stores like we do now. It's 2.8% and they are the erstwhile sponsors of the Young Hot Guys podcast, who will all be joining us later on in the show. So thank you to Re-Raw.
Whatever happened to them? What's happened now is people take card. So you kind of have this really funny interaction where people come up and say, "Hey, do you have any change?" And you go, "Oh my God, I would, but I don't carry any change." And then they say, "Oh, I take card." And then you have to go, "Well, actually, I actually just don't want to. Sorry. I'm very sorry, but actually, I was lying and I don't want to."
And who are these lads?
I'm a bad person.
Who are these lads with the card readers now?
They have them. Some people have
readers on the street.
Card readers on the street. In Sweden, they had them for ages.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's insane.
Government initiative, maybe.
Like, it's really hard now for people to get money on the street because no one has change anymore. Also, buskers.
Yeah.
Also, buskers.
Also,
Marhampla.
have we considered that? Shane, you're very quiet. Is everything okay?
I just didn't think that's good
Didn't enjoy
podcast
any
chat
of this.
at all.
Didn't enjoy any of this.
Thus far, I haven't been enthused to join in the conversation.
Yeah, well, okay, stay out and let me and Tony keep going. So, what else have you been doing,
I am not
Tony?
above doing a long-form joke/protest/sulk after sitting silently for the next hour and a half with you both. I would do that.
It's episode 46 of Shane's Sulk. He still hasn't said anything.
Let's see
He
how you
keeps
get
showing
on.
up.
Let's see how you get on.
The fans of Shane trains are out in their droves singing outside the door. Something inside so strong.
There is no such
I
thing
know
as
that
a Young Hot Guys podcast that doesn't include Shane Daniel Byrne. There are podcasts of Young Hot Guys that don't include you both. So I'm holding this thing together.
Well, maybe to coax you back in.
Yes.
Can I compliment your fine Shane Daniel sideburns?
Oh, thank you very much.
Your side Daniel burns.
Well, I heard from the collective barber of us and our friends.
Yes.
Kieran
Kieran
Conley,
Conley, Autonomy Hair Studio.
Autonomy Hair Studio in Dublin's
Hasn't cut my hair.
Temple Bar.
Temple Bar.
We're going to get you booked in.
Get me in.
Let's get you booked in.
Get you in there.
I don't know. I was telling Tony, I'm torn because I'm not sure. Has it gone to the point where I just don't go anymore?
Oh,
To the barbers.
yeah.
On the TV show, they shaved it off one day. They just shaved it all. There was a guy who cut hair and then they stopped. He quit. And then there was a woman who didn't speak English and I heard her asking the other ones and they were like, I'm Spanish. And they went, cuatro? And she went, sí, cuatro. And that was a number 4. So she just did a 4 all over, which was, So I'm like, well, I just leave it.
I went to the barber, guess what he told me? Guess what he told me? He said, boy, you better shave your head a quattro, what you do? Because you're a fool.
Oh, why am I the fool?
Because you're a fool.
You're talking about going, just shaving it all
Yeah,
off.
it's just a very annoying part of like the baldness now where like people keep saying it and they're like, the hair is, the hair tighter or whatever. I'm like, I'm bald. Like, that's what's happened here. There's no fucking mystery. Shut up. Get on with it. I don't go around telling other people, you look like, you seem to have aged in the face. You know what I mean? You don't see an old friend and go, you used to have a much more kind of cute cherubic look and now you look a bit more hollow and gaunt. You don't go around and say that. Mind your own business. Don't be dropping comments on our Instagram and all. Fuck off. Shut up. I don't know. I just feel like I was saying this last week, this zero tolerance policy on like, comments on my appearance. Someone with a big Irish Instagram account, actually quite big, bigger than me, not as big as Killian.
The one as big as me?
They're definitely pretty big.
Yeah, but like commented on like something in my eye. I was like, go fuck off.
Wow.
I just think I just have zero.
Just like looking at you, man. Just like looking at you.
Don't comment
what's
on
the
my
relationship
appearance. I don't
with
know
the-
you. I don't know you, sir.
Talking
man.
about other people's is just not on. But to talk about your hair situation, like what's the story with barbers? Like what's the communication like? Because do they not mention that you're balding or do they kind of just
No,
like,
you have to be a grown up about it and you have to talk about it and say like, I don't know, I feel like there's not enough hair. Isn't it?
Yeah.
But also then it's like for the rest of my life, I look at Ryan Carrick, one of our favourites, a friend of the pod, a friend of our lives, Ryan Carrick. And what is wrong with you? Is there something wrong with you? Is that what he said? What did he say to you?
Something wrong with you.
There's something wrong with you. But he has to get people, he does the Joe.ie videos and then people don't like them because they instantly won't like Joe even if they don't watch the video. They'll just say, fuck this, hate these guys. And they have to be baldy. They have to say baldy forever. And I'm like, forevermore, I have to hear this baldy thing. Forevermore. For the rest of my life.
you could wear a wig.
Yeah, I could wear a wig and get it done. I'm really toying with this thing. There's so much everyone. Maybe I've talked this already.
You should get a kind of Boris Johnson kind of style. That there's that British politician. You should get one that's obviously a wig.
Yeah. Yeah.
Michael, something like that.
God, what's his
Something
name?
French. They sometimes
like
very
Govey
English
Band
people
or-
have very French names.
Shit, what's his name?
Yeah. Rob Pom.
God, your man. He's got
Wiggy.
like it's like he was in Big Brother or
Yes,
Celebrity.
he was
or
in
get me
Celebrity Big Brother. Yeah.
Fabricant.
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 Fabricant. The stuff that he's doing
His bloody
policy-wise.
hair is a fabricant.
Fabriqué en la chinois.
Ouais.
Made in China.
Chevaux.
Cheveux fabricants.
Il a
They
chevaux
used to be
comme
wigs,
le...
when I was a kid,
Hey.
people had toupees. And I remember my dad used to watch like politicians or various people in the news would have toupees. And my dad used to love it and would just shout, wig, that's a wig, that's a wig, that's a
Yeah.
wig, that's a wig, that's a wig. So all these people used to wear wigs. And then there's less wigs and more hair transplant.
Yes.
Every Hollywood celebrity has hair transplant. They can't all have hair. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think we need to destigmatize wigs. In black culture, people wear wigs all the time. The ladies be wearing wigs all the time, and they look absolutely fabulous, and they embrace it. I think we need to embrace a weave culture here for white men, not to
weave it into. It's the
not to.
problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem there with the weave. I could weave it into my flesh. Would
Give
that
it
work?
a shot.
weave it into my flesh.
Weave it into my flesh.
But we've never done that before.
I said, weave it into my flesh.
I
think
No,
people
not
are
on my head, you
addicted
fool.
to the. People are addicted to changing their appearance now. I think it's kind of scary. Do you know? Because I sit beside. There's an aesthetics place beside the Hot Guys Coffee, and
Yes.
I look at the aesthetics shop, and I think it's always in my head when I come in here because I'm like, God, everyone's getting all sorts. They're like, do you want this? It's lemon. We'll
What is?
inject you with lemon. I was like, what?
What?
What are
Wow.
you telling me? Oh my
Inject
gosh.
you with lemon?
Sorry, boring. Sorry, not boring, but this is just my own personal vendetta and things that are going through my own head.
You know, hopefully, what I'd love to see away with is people feeling insecure. It's not going to happen. So, look, I'd say do whatever. You know, you only got one body. Fill it full of stuff. Put a lot of Coke in it or like Coca-Cola in it or something. Do you know what I mean? You only got one body. Fill it with lemon.
Did you say Coke and then you kind of went Coca-Cola?
Well, I don't mean put a
You're like,
Coke.
wait,
Well,
I don't
put
wanna-
Coke in it as well. Do you know what? Like, you know, you've only got one life. Fill it full of crap. You know what I mean? Body's your temple, but it's also your bin.
Yeah.
And I think just throw shit in it. See what
I just
happens.
think stop talking about everyone looks like. There's people who they love slagging Trump's allies and Trump's cult members, and they're like, oh, look at their face before and look at their face after. And I'm like, the reason we should be opposed to these people is their
Ugly.
opinions.
Oh, sorry. You're the opposite.
Are their opinions and their convictions and their racisms and their prejudices and what's the other word for the broad word for prejudices? Xenophobia and all those kind of things. Not because they changed their appearance to look like what they look like now. Oh, it's very
I'm
simple.
such a sucker for things like Bernie Sanders, who I love. Whenever there's someone who just looks like young, like a quarterback with a big fucking dustbin chin, I'm always like, oh my God, like he's classy. He should be president.
You say quarter black.
Well, ideally, I suppose. Just mix it up. Great big melting pot we got going on. No, big quarterback.
I
You know?
agree. No, I agree. And you know, when
Varsity
you look
head.
at those photos of young Stalin, and it's like everyone can recognize like that guy was so hot, but also
He's
awful.
photoshopped.
What do you mean he's photoshopped?
Stalin used to Photoshop his face because his
He
face was
photoshopped his
pockmarked.
face.
Yeah, he didn't actually ride on a bear shooting 2 AK-47s.
That's
with,
Putin.
With oh yeah,
That's
Okay.
Putin, man.
Okay, fine.
Don't go
You're
after my
thinking of
boy.
Putin.
Um,
No, and also his arm was one arm longer than he had one arm longer than the other, or a leg longer than the other, something like that. And he
Yeah,
was
he'd always arrive at your
like
house
that.
with nothing.
And then, of course, he killed the guy. And then the famous picture where he removed your arm.
That's great.
They did all that. I didn't even know how you would do that. What are they even doing?
That's amazing. If you guys don't know, if you haven't done Leaving Cert history, because that's the only way you find out about that.
I didn't.
There's a
you go.
great photo of Stalin. Sort of just he was with this guy, and then the guy became unfavorable, and then he just photoshopped the guy out of the photo, and it was great. It's like, yeah, I was never mates with him.
Amazing.
Yes, but don't we have our own version with Porrick Pierce at the steps of the GPO or one of them?
Yes,
and Countess
a woman was
And they
photoshopped
edited
out.
it. It's not Countess Markovich, though.
Is
I
it
don't
not?
think it is. No.
No, but yeah, the woman was edited out of it, which is strange. Because I thought like Ireland, Catholic Ireland, usually quite good for women. So
I know.
very strange. Very strange that they would try
Also,
to
like,
airbrush women from
Bit
history.
of a sausage fest after. You know what I mean? Can we not just judge this photo up a bit with a lovely
Yeah,
lady?
but women should have their place around, you know, in the
the
homes and,
Oh,
and
sorry.
their hearth and
You know,
fireside.
if you think what men did, like
of their
Constance
family home.
Markovich gave up his life.
in that park over there. Oh my God, that's one of the greatest.
I don't know whether you don't.
Oh, we talked about it on the podcast before.
We definitely
so
have.
This guy, he had a party called Direct Democracy. I don't know if he had it at the time, but anyway, he was one of these complainer people, and he was on the news and he was complaining about something in the government. That's Stephen Screen, and he said, people give up their life. People died for this country. Constant Markovich, he gave up his life in that park over there, and it's absolutely amazing
To
because-
eradicate tyranny. And he's going full whack.
One,
And he's got a gang of people around him.
Constance Markovich, one of the most famous women of Ireland, of modern Ireland of all time, is Constance Markovich. And Constant, not a man's name. There is no one called Constant. Constantine, sure. But there's not. Hello, Constant. That is a different word.
The name's Constant. I'm always there.
Yeah.
I never left.
And then Constance Markovich did not die in 1916.
No.
All facts wrong.
Wow.
Oh, I saw a funny thing the other
She
day
shot a
about
policeman in the head, though.
somebody
In-
was,
she did, yeah.
in the head.
Yeah, she killed a policeman. Which
In
I
the
thought was,
RIC?
I think that people were, you know, when they were doing 1916, they were like, I don't know.
Here we do
They
in
were like,
1916.
let's do it. It was kind of ramshackle, organized by poets and artists and things like that. They were in Stephen's Green, very bad strategic place to be. And they're all kind of like, maybe they're getting ready, all this kind of stuff. And then like Countess Markovic, just like a policeman's walking along, shoots him in the head. I'd say they were all like, oh, fuck. This is actually happening.
Shit.
Like,
Yeah,
we're
she's a
actually
bad
doing
bitch.
this. Yeah.
She's a gorgeous big house, Leinster Road.
Oh, yeah.
Dublin 6.
And
Yeah.
gorgeous big head.
Lovely
yeah.
big head.
Nice big head.
Too big for photos. She had to be.
They were awful looking then, weren't they? Though, do you know what I mean?
They were all
Do you ever see
awful
the terrible, like
The heads on them.
new degrees of plainness among that generation? They were a fright.
I mean, of course, we shouldn't talk about people's.
No, it's fine if it's fine if they're dead.
It's fine if they're dead.
No, they're long dead. There was some funny tweet the other day of somebody, an MP in UK, being celebrated as she was the first sitting female MP, because the first female MP is Constant Markovic. But he didn't take up his seat in Westminster. So they had to change it to go, the first sitting female MP.
Yeah.
You know when there's like restaurants or whatever, or there might be a shop and they're like, the first Botox in Ireland. Like people always are kind of like, this is the first, chicken korma chili dog available you can buy in Ireland. And I'm like, do people not realize that's a very bad marketing ploy? That I'm like, I'm going to wait and see when they get this right.
When they get better.
When they get better.
Yeah, it's like in The Simpsons when it's the future episode and they're like, Homer, why did you get the first ever hover car? And it's just like bouncing around. Like, did you not know the technology would get better?
There is a bar in Athlone. Shout out to Nadini, August and
Just
Winter.
the one. Just the one.
Athlone. And it's called Sean's Bar, and they made the claim to be the oldest bar in Ireland. Now, go ahead and Google it there. Giving you pause to Google it at home. You'll see that like it has, I can't bear it because the font is like was on your Gateway 2000 PC. It is a font that's just like in the ready go in Microsoft Word.
Yeah.
And if you want to make it to be such a wonderful tourist trap in the oldest bar in Ireland and has roots of whatever 700 years or something like that, you must employ a designer to design you a shop front. You can't have that. It needs Sean's Bar calling you out.
Well, maybe there's a nice up and coming, Irish design TikToker who can be like, I redesigned Irish pubs. You know the way they do that sometimes in America?
Yeah.
They're like, I redesigned this brochure that someone handed me, and made it, helping, digging out businesses in need. I think that'd be a great.
The guy who does people's posters, he finds on the
flyers.
streets.
I find that a bit passive aggressive. I don't know. Someone's put up their song, they say guitar lessons, and it's just a thing, and then you've cut with the scissors. They've gone to the effort of putting their phone number on the thing, and they've cut with the scissors, so there's like a little fringy like that. And then some asshole comes along and goes, duh, I'm going to make this way better and stuff. And it's like, I don't know. I think that's passive aggressive.
No, I think it's very sweet. I think it's nice just to pay back in trade.
I don't know. You got to ask someone.
It's like Burning Man.
No.
Swapping.
One time my brother was making his dinner and then he went to the bathroom and his Italian roommate went in and started messing with the sauce because he said he wanted to make it better. I'm like, I actually, do you know what?
That's a completely different thing.
That's not okay.
That's a completely different thing.
It's not okay.
I said this a few weeks ago. The Italians need to get a new pattern.
Yeah.
You can't be going on that we know all about food the most.
Yeah.
You need to do something else.
But I'd say there is some desperate for attention. I don't even want to say ladies, partners who spot a very Italian person. I'm like, okay, he's going to be my boyfriend, and I'm pretty sure that if I throw some things at him, he's going to freak out, and I'm always going to have my phone out, and we're going to blow up big time. Because there's loads
that
of
does exist.
There's loads of these
There's
lads
loads
around.
of fake ones of
My
women
Italian
who
husband.
she breaks the spaghetti in half, and her Italian husband's like, "Why are you breaking the spaghetti like that?" And it's like it's just so boring. Such
I'd love
boring
them to try that shit with an
content.
Irish bird, being like, why are you breaking spaghetti? Don't you fucking shout at me! Don't shout at me! It's only fucking spaghetti!
Will you calm down? Will you calm down over screaming and shouting over fucking spaghetti for ridiculous?
Well, I like it with cream. I like it with cream.
You make the dinner.
My mum makes it with cream.
I didn't see you get off your fucking hole and make a fucking dinner. There's 3 fucking kids there sitting screaming. I'm trying to clean up the whole thing. You're in having a fucking shite for 40 minutes. You don't see me doing that.
Never off the fucking blow with your man.
You're obsessed with your mother. Do you know that? Mama, fuck off. Do you know what? I haven't seen my man 2 years. Fuck's sake, you have me living here. Ridiculous. We're having it this way, I don't care. Right, boiled spuds. I'm not even peeling them. I'm not even peeling them. Do you see me complaining? fucking, you'd want to go and put up that fucking shelf. It's 3 months since we were in IKEA and that shelf is still sitting there, Antonio. You have some fucking nerve to come for me over fucking spaghetti. You're a grown man. You're a grown man. And that problem with your dick's not going to sort itself, by the way.
Baby, you want some limoncello? I do actually, yeah. I do.
Hey, very good.
That was kind of feminism.
That was feminism.
That was feminism.
Pure
in action.
feminism.
That was us using our voices to make fake women's voices. That's feminism.
That's feminism.
That's what feminism's
what
been
feminism
about the
is
whole
about.
time.
As a man, it's all we can do.
This is so
Pretend
Simone
to
de
be-
Beauvoir,
Mm.
right?
Pardon?
What?
You know, they say in hell that everyone sits at a lovely long table, a lovely meal, but their knives and forks are too long and they can't get the food in their mouth. But in heaven, you see, it's exactly the same setup, but everyone feeds each other.
Oh, that's a sick bacchanalian orgy.
Fuck, I didn't even think of that.
So that's what I think of giving you one glass of water. This is heaven, and I'm amazing.
I don't agree with a lot of things like elbows on the table and stuff,
yeah.
but I did learn once that I do think Americans use a knife and fork like disgusting pigs. I do think that.
What is it? Wait,
but
what did they do again?
they kind of just like as a small child. But
Stab,
anyway,
stab. Cut,
I do
cut,
like
cut.
the way we do it here. But look, they're entitled to do that. So I know there's American listeners, and I'm sorry.
Well, I hate. Do you know what I hate?
Yes.
People who do the fork like this, the tines like that, and they scoop up like this.
It's very visual. What do you,
They put the fork down, and then on the back side
they don't use it like a shovel.
They don't do that. Like they don't scoop it like a spoon, which is how I eat. When they get
push
it,
with
so
the
you
knife
eat-
and then
onto
they
the sort of
yeah.
the concave side. Of
yeah,
the
and they
fork.
kind of like they
That's
almost
what
like
I
press
would do
together like
that,
that.
yeah.
I think this is too what the fucking debutante fucking ball shit we doing
Yeah,
here.
well, okay. Well, I didn't mean to open this can of worms,
Well.
but I do think a nice thing just talking about the water that if you go for dinner, do the other person's water first.
yes,
It's nice,
that's classy.
and then it is still a piece of romance in me and Raymond's long relationship where romance is long gone.
Oh yes.
That you only get a real brief bit of romance. Everything else then just feels. Any of the other romantic gesture feels hackneyed and trite. Not trite.
Tripe.
Sure.
Tripe.
Tripe. Yeah. Tripe.
Pig guts.
Yeah. Just
A couple of years in, it's just a bunch of pig guts.
Yeah.
Gets a bit tripe.
Does.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
No, it does. You just have to kind of remind yourself sometimes, sometimes me and Terry, it's all very jobs. It's like getting things done with the kids, gaff, whatever needs to be done. And then sometimes we just look at each other and I'm like, there you are. Yeah, you're not so bad, actually.
yeah, but we don't have kids. We just are constantly just talking to each other.
Skadgets. Skadgets is the problem. You need to do. You need to leave everything off your phone. Just have pictures of your partner. That's what I think you need to do. All the apps, just have a photo app, and the only thing that's on it is pictures of your partner.
No, because sometimes when people go out with each other and then they become incestuous with their own partner. Does that make sense? They're obviously not related, but they're like in this incestuous. People who become into what happens to those people? All they do
start
is talk
looking
to
like
each
each
other,
other?
and they're constantly texting each other when they're not together. And then the thing, and then they're always talking and say, and then they have this weird fake smile where it's kind of telling you like, guys, we're gonna go, and you're like, okay. I was like,
I hate those.
Or
when you're
couples
talking
who
to
one
them and
when
you feel
one
like,
has.
you're like
They're judging you or
you're
something.
Something like those couples who are very couples.
Yeah.
Very, very couples. It's almost like I most prefer couples who hate each other.
Yeah.
It's like I most prefer when they kind
Or
of
they can allow each other
Yeah.
to part for a second,
Yeah.
But I hate when as well that when they're leaving and they're kind of doing that thing, they're sitting together. Well, you want to go? They have like weird couple voice they do. Well, we just say, well, I wouldn't mind staying for another half an hour. You want to stay for another half an hour? Yeah, I might go home. You gonna go home? Don't go home. Come home with me.
I
You know
couples who
reference.
have
What
I
voice
do know
that
what you
is.
mean. I do know what you mean. It's a totally thing.
like
It's
little
that's
boys.
happening
Those
for
little
ages.
boys.
You're at the barbecue, whatever you're at.
You're at the
I
barbecue.
say that I haven't been to a barbecue in my life
You're
since
at
I
the
was a
barbecue.
child. I've never been to a grown-up barbecue, maybe. But and then they're like kind of like
Brutalist
do you want
architecture.
Do you want to think? And they're quite tactile. Do you want to? Yeah, I don't mind if you want to. But couples who can't, you go home. If he wants to go home, let him go home. You stay.
I love that. I love when, and
I
it's
think it's the
usually a
greatest.
guy who wants to leave and the girl wants to stay out. In certain, mostly that's most time I see it, and it's like fine, you go home. I'm staying out. I like that.
Yeah, I like
a
to
lot.
see that.
Stay. Like if you want to
If you
go
wanna stay,
home,
stay, go.
stop
Fuck off.
succubusing energy out of each other.
Yeah. That's nice to see,
go,
unless it's kind of the kind of stay, you go home, and then the partner leaves, and there's a bit of a fucking, now we're fucking going. You know, sometimes that happens. Sometimes it's kind of like,
It's
now
like,
we're ramping up. Now we're ramping up.
It's like we were actually thinking, everyone else was actually thinking of, no.
Yeah.
He's fucking gone.
Or you'll see it at a wedding where you find out that like a couple that you know, only one of them is going, and you're like, ho-ho, ho-ho. It's going to get fucking Lowry.
Yeah.
Michael Lowry.
I have another couple thing. My friend said this a while ago. It's like hates that when you're in a relationship, you go somewhere on your own, and then someone asks how your partner is, and it's like, he's not here. I'm like, why are you talking about that? Talk to me.
How much time I spend with that guy?
Yeah. I'm always, I don't know. It's kind of like this thing. I don't know. Maybe other people's relationships are really like deeply attached like that. But I'm like, they're like, how's Raymond? I'm like, yeah, fine. That's what I'm always going to say. He's fine.
Yeah.
Let's not have this chat.
How is he?
He's grand.
Yeah,
he's
good,
grand.
yeah.
He's a bit hungover this morning, as you know.
Oh, good.
And he's gone into the office hungover.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, he has to learn.
Wow.
Raymond is 15.
I wouldn't be able to muster it anymore, going in hungover in a workplace. It was great being hungover in work when I worked in sales because everyone was just hungover all the time. And essentially my job as sales manager was kind of just like glorified DJ, you know,
Really?
just playing tunes for the team to get them pumped, to make their sales. Every time we do this song, it doesn't sound anything like that.
No,
It was only when Shane did it I realised what it was.
that's the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
You're a great singer.
Well, it's not. Oh, well, it's just that.
have a
Oh,
song in
I'm
your
just
heart.
absolutely chuffed with that.
Really?
Yeah, I'm absolutely chuffed that I did it right.
Absolutely.
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 Oh, I was going to say something.
Anyway,
So
here's
you,
the
you have to be
level.
hungover. You can be hungover. We're doing the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, Killian and I, this
Yes, you
year.
are. You can get tickets right effing now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right effing now. If you effing get your effing phones out of your pockets
All right,
and
Geldof.
effing get your bastard cock phones.
I
out.
wasn't trying to sell tickets. I just was going to
We
say
should
that
sell tickets.
there
Buy
is-
your
tickets for us.
phones.
Yeah, but
now.
there's eventually there comes a day in Edinburgh where you do a show every day, and that's kind of grueling. And an hour is a lot of energy to muster up, and they're not people who know you; they're random people, and you know. But at certain points, you try and be good and have routine. But at a certain point, the mania of that, you go get fucked up, and you must, and you go out till 5 a.m. and then you're like, ugh, and then you just do your show, and you just somehow find, and it's part of the resilience and learning of the boot camp of Edinburgh is that you're
Sometimes they're the best shows.
yeah, and you go,
especially-
I'm just gonna fucking do it, and you just do it. You just have to go out and do it, and you're kind of like already sweating before the show has started, and you're like, oh god, I feel disgusting, and then you just go out and do it, and you don't tell the audience necessarily that you're hungover, but it just adds a quality. You're just like, I must, and then you're like, I can do anything.
Yeah.
If you
My
get it
show's
right.
at 7. What time was your show? Oh, before
Mine's on
me.
just before you.
Half
So
5.
this is a great moment to sell some tickets. But
wow.
if you go to
Do the double.
do the double. It's an amazing. You can go and see me, and then you can get a drink. And then immediately after in the exact same room, you can see Shane. It's a double whammy. It's a bing bang bong.
Yeah.
Or just a bing bang.
There's
It's
an
just a
Aperol
bing
Spritz
bang.
bar just there as well, right beside it. There's an
Bong's
Aperol
sitting it
Spritz
out
bar.
this Edinburgh,
Bong is sitting it
unfortunately.
out. It's just
Yeah.
bing and bang.
But that is so good because every time between your shows as well, you have to do this chat
Yeah.
with the other people. So I won't have to do that.
Yeah.
We've halved it because I'll do a chat with you and I like you, right? As
Yeah.
discussed on the podcast last week, I do love Killian.
You can fly on my show if you want.
I can exit flyer your show. Okay, I will. I'll pay
idea.
someone. I don't. But yeah, you have to do this chat and go, how was yours? Yeah. And then they go, how many do you have in? And you go, about 25 in. And they go, how many of you? And you go, oh, today, I've actually got 40 today. And you feel great. And then the next day they've got like 50 and you've got 11. So it's like, ugh, it's gross. So that's halved that. Actually, I liked who I did last year. Amos Gill and Suze Kempner. That's who I was either side of me last year.
Suze is great. Yeah.
Suze lovely. Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
Suze also did a really good joke on the internet yesterday that I was obsessed with.
Oh, what was it?
She's from England. Suze Kempner. You might know her from
the
Twitter
UK,
or whatever.
in
In the
the
United
UK.
Kingdom. And she said, County Mayo, or Mayo, as I was scolded when I was in Donegal. County Mayo is short for... Oh my God, shit. I forgot it. Hold on.
I was
the setup
obsessed
is
with
great.
it.
Oh no!
Setup
obsessed.
is great.
Why are you so obsessed with me?
Oh, I got it. County Mayo is short for counterfeit mayonnaise. And
That's funny.
I just enjoyed that a lot.
That's great. Well done.
Why
very
would there
funny.
be counterfeit mayonnaise? What would that even be? Vegan mayo or something? I don't know.
Also, R.I.P. Tony just brought up.
Jerry Ann.
Why are you so obsessed with me, Jerry Ann? R.I.P.
yeah.
Man in the yellow suit.
Why are you so obsessed with me?
Yeah.
Go live.
Teresa Carmody is a good woman. Three's a
Well,
comedy.
if you don't know who that is, look up. What do you look up? Jerry Hannon, Frank McCourt. Is it Frank
Frank
McCourt?
McCourt,
The man in the
Late
yellow
Late Late Show,
suit.
right? Watch that. Watch that in full. Then look up Viper. What's his name?
Viper Higgins.
Doing it in a tunnel somewhere. We've talked about it before. One of the greatest pieces of
One
contemporary Irish
incredible
art.
piece of art.
It's incredible. Actually,
I love women. I'm infatuated with women.
I'm the one I'm with now. I'm going to be with forever.
I'm gonna get Hilary to put the links for both in the show notes. Actually,
Yes.
I'm gonna remember that now. When we,
Incredible.
Yeah.
because actually you should watch them in that order. Watch the real one and then watch.
And
Viper
in the
Higgins.
show notes, you also have a link to Edinburgh Fringe Festival. Going hard on the sale today. I don't know why. I think it's because you were talking about the sales, being a sales manager, and it's just kind of in my head.
spirit of
Avicii's
Avicii.
level, I can hear it in my head, like.
You've got those Camino legs running.
I'm just
with
selling
Avicii
on.
in your
I am
heart.
absolutely devastated about having to sell tickets again. I cannot believe this is happening to me. I just was granted a reprieve for a few months, and now it's back.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm trying to figure out ways to kind of slip it into conversation. I'm like, how am I supposed to sell tickets to shows in October?
Well, where are you playing?
Like stuff like Killian, I'm trying to
like
find
the-
ways to
how are you
say,
trying to slip it
okay,
in?
right, London,
Yeah.
22nd September, for
22nd
example.
September.
Then, Bristol, Liverpool, Manchester,
Yeah.
Edinburgh. Like, how do I
How do you
fit
slip-
that?
Like, how would people even buy those tickets as well?
Oh, I made it in my link tree, and it's all very
Okay.
clear in my link tree and my Instagram
But how do
bio.
you slip that into conversation?
How do you let
How
people
do you
know
find a
where
way?
to find that link
Oh,
tree?
hello, Shane's in Manchester. Like, how am I supposed to say that?
That's
It's
so
annoying.
difficult.
It's tricky, isn't it?
It's very
really,
tricky.
really hard. And I'm like, because I'm also finding on the podcast, I find it really hard to slip in that we have a bonus podcast that people can subscribe to.
And that podcast is
Like,
good.
how do we bring it in?
Like I was trying to say to someone, it's not about the bonus. It's that it's ad free. That's smooth
Yeah.
transition and smooth
Yeah.
listening.
It's like, how do we let them know how much better it is and how amazing it is, even though this is great? You can actually get more, a whole other podcast. There's no other, I can't think of how we could possibly tell them.
And also, like, I think people would think that it's like only like 15 minutes long, but like it's really long. Sometimes as long as this pod. Like,
Sometimes
and
it's
as
42
good,
minutes.
and it's. And, like, how do we even mention the fact that we maybe get a bit more personal on that, and we actually engage a bit more? We read letters. Like, how would?
I guess
annoying.
they'll never know.
I guess we'll never know.
To quote Kanye West, I guess we'll never know.
What other quotes does he have?
Yeah, do a few Kanye quotes.
Recent ones.
We're rewatching the TV show Girls, and we just
started rewatching it
I'm
on your
so-
recommendation.
yes.
It's unbelievable.
it's so good, and we're devastated because we just watched the episode where Marnie sings the Kanye song.
Oh, yes.
And it's even though you know it's coming. I don't know. I just feel like there's no other show I think that is more uniquely placed into my generation and age group. And it's just devastating. Anyway, if you haven't watched Girls, watch it.
Brilliant.
You can watch it on one
What
of
a
them
rewatch.
streamers who I've done ads for before, but they turned me down another time. So
That scene with her and her ex-boyfriend, who's now gay, is
it's
just
one of the best pieces of cinema.
unbelievable.
Yes.
It's unbelievable.
Yes. With your man from, he was the originated the role in the musical we
Book
saw.
of Mormon.
Book of Mormon, yes.
Oh, really? What
Yeah,
a
he's
great
the
actor.
original guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Andrew Rannells.
Very
Yes.
good. Very good guy.
Very good guy.
Very good guy.
Great guy.
Great
Just a
guy.
great
good
guy.
guy.
Ah, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, a few jokes. Any jokes?
Well, no, I was. You were asking me while I was on my phone.
Oh
I'm
yes,
organising
Killian was
a
on his
stag.
phone and he was looking down at the. Well, actually, great you said that. He was
Yes.
looking down while we were setting up here, and he was doing that kind of half smile that you do when you look at.
Oh God.
It's similar to the smile you might do if you're looking in a mirror talking to somebody behind you. You know that smile? It goes crooked.
Oh, you're looking at yourself.
When you look at
Yeah.
yourself in the mirror and then you're talking to someone who's in the reflection, you do this kind of crooked.
Shane, they're not there.
You do this kind of.
I think if we see him smiling like that in the mirror, we know he's talking to the other guy.
Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary. Anyway, Killian, you're organising a stag,
I
and the way up.
I
the
have to say, I hate that face. Whenever someone catches, like, Anna might film you when I'm watching something, and I'm like, I hate my face. When I see that little
I
kind of
thought
like,
you looked nice. Killian also said on the way up the stairs, I'm organising this stag, you know, the medieval thing. And we had
no idea what you're
no
talking
idea
about.
what you're talking about.
Yeah.
No
I'm
idea.
organising stag for this weekend, you know, the
Oh,
medieval
some
thing.
sort of
you guys
medieval
know
thing.
about it.
We don't know all
Are
about
you going
it.
on the
I'm
Viking
going
Smash tour?
No, we've booked a castle in Byrne Ossory, and we are going
that very
there.
Did he say it well or poorly?
I think he said it well.
Where
I've
is it
never
on?
I've only
Boris
Boris
and
and
Ossory.
Ossory.
Okay.
How do you say that?
Boris and Ossory. Yeah, go on.
Boris. Yeah,
No, Boris, different place.
Boris and Ossory.
Yes.
Anyway, we're going there, and we've gone very gung ho with the medieval
Many lads?
vibe. Well, I think like 23.
Wow.
Jesus.
All men.
Tony's
Big-
getting hard.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Really-
we've really
Not
gone
for
hard
men,
on
for stags. He loves
Oh,
stags.
for stags, for sure. Big time.
really gone hard on the medieval thing, and the person.
Wait, what's the medieval? What's the origin of that?
Are you going to dress medieval?
We are dressing medieval. One of the guys has built a fully functioning trebuchet.
Oh my God.
Oh
I was
my
going to ask,
goodness.
would there be a trebuchet involved?
Yeah, there is a trebuchet. This is the trebuchet.
Oh,
Oh
wow.
my God. Send that video to Hilary. Oh
Killian.
my God.
It's a fully functioning trebuchet.
for me, will you put a dildo in it? Please.
For you, 1,000 times.
And fling that.
1,000 dildos.
It is my honor to show this dildo for you.
In the middle of the thing. No, for Tony.
Why is it
Please.
medieval?
Because it's in Ballamore Castle. It's a medieval castle. Cromwell tried to
Okay,
tear
but
it
when
down.
you're planning a stag,
Failed.
Yes.
right? And then when do you stag? You could go to Carrick-on-Shannon and you could all drink beer, but you're doing it
'Cause it's
medieval.
funny. It's really funny.
Right.
It's really
Okay,
funny.
it's just fun.
And like you can build a trebuchet and stuff. And there's, we're using the money of
Beautiful.
people who have, there's the committee, the sort of Knights Templar, and then there's the sort of the mass, the peasants, the whatever, and they kind of give us their tithes, their money, and then we
You put
do
in a
things
caste
with
system
that.
already?
We have a caste system already,
Okay.
and they give us
Are
their
there any
money and
serfs?
things. They're serfs, yeah. They're all just I pack them all together, whatever they
Right.
are, And we're taking their tithes, their money, and they work the land, and we're doing things
Super
with that
hot.
money that I think is sometimes like we built a trebuchet, and I don't know, like we probably could have got 3 more crates of beer for the amount that we spent on the trebuchet, but I think it's good.
It's very
How
impressive.
much
very
did your mate
impressive.
charge you for the trebuchet?
Well, the trebuchet is about 180.
Parts?
180 for
Did he charge
the
labour?
wood, and he didn't charge labor.
He did
Okay.
labor.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
he didn't charge labor.
Is he a carpenter?
No, he's not. He's just he built a whole, what are they called? Range Rover by himself. He's just really.
What? He
I
built
was
a Range
I was
Rover?
driving with one time in his Range Rover.
What is the
had
man's name?
Owen.
Oh,
Owen.
normal name. Okay.
Owen.
And
Well done.
he built he's normal dude. And he
Doesn't
was
sound like
driving
it, to be
along-
honest.
Yeah,
It doesn't sound that normal to me.
Well, we were driving along the Range Rover one time, and there's a hole. You can just see the bottom of the
The glass bottom boat.
It's just there.
Fred Flintstone
It's like
job.
just whistling in, very loud. I'm like, oh, I think I smell something. And then he's
Does
like,
this car
oh, yeah.
pass his NCT?
I don't know.
Right.
Anyway, he pulls over and he goes, yeah, the engine's leaking oil. So he just gets a screwdriver, goes into the engine and just fixes it himself. So that's the kind of guy we're dealing with.
Wow.
He's fixed
So
the
hot.
engine himself.
I would just,
That
I
is
probably
hot.
wouldn't even be able to talk to him. I'd just stand beside him. And I would just be there standing beside him and he'd be like, you all right? I'm like, yeah. And I would just, you know what I mean? Like I'm drawn to that. I'm drawn to that level of cool.
Very
I would
cool.
flirt with him like a teenage girl, and
yeah.
he would be a steely, cool guy who doesn't flirt back, and I'd be like, Owen.
You wouldn't even
Owen,
finish
stop.
a sentence.
Yeah.
And then you'd start,
I'd be like,
before you
Owen,
even finish the sentence.
Owen. It's like, guys, me and Owen are down here at the picnic table. Yeah, I'd do that.
Well, I bring the lads to the trebuchet. You're trying to like do things for him. Will I call all the lads down for the trebuchet, Owen?
Yeah.
Will I call it down?
Owen's trebuchet is so good, isn't it?
It's so cool.
I'd
He
say
built
that.
it himself.
He's so good.
And then someone else is talking to Owen, and you're like, Owen, Owen, will I load up the trebuchet again? He's like, yeah, in a second.
Yeah.
Well, he's gotten. So I'm trying to like organize something. So the people in the
catapult.
committee as well. It's not just Owen, but he built.
Are you on the
trebuchet.
committee?
I'm on the committee. I'm doing the boring thing where I need to request the money, trying to make it a little bit medieval themed. Like, all right, the tourney, castle. We need to request a tithe. All this kind of stuff. Just very flirting with it or whatever. And then Owen has gone so hardcore on the medieval thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is his message to request money from the people. After my message. Forgive this young palace courtier, Killian. He is far too green and kind, like a milk-livered maiden. Listen up, you cum warblers. The summer taxes are due, and the king's tourney and banquet means there will be a further tax. Cough up the coin, or you will gargle on the king's sputum. Alas, the Lord is always gracious, and in return, you will have an honour, a great honour of dining in the vast halls. You will find your usually flaccid stomachs distended with goods from his bountiful larders. If you don't drink the king's ale and mead, then pity you, for you will have only the displeasure of sucking on fetid waters straight from the Lord's chamber pot.
Wow. Like it's veered into pure nerdy now, and I still love it so much.
I don't know how I'd cope being in that stag. I'd be like, I can't do any of it. I can't do any of it.
Oh, you'd be so. I mean, come on, you'd have.
I
three
don't know
drinks in.
any of those
you
things.
had 3 drinks in you, and then all of a sudden you would be doing, a political performance as jester. Absolutely lambasting the king.
I could be the king's fool.
Yeah.
I could do that. Okay,
Oh,
right.
God.
Okay,
Mark's
cool.
getting dressed up as the fool. He's getting dressed up as like the jester. So you couldn't actually do that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Marcus.
So,
Yeah.
well, I think I'd beat him in a battle of wits.
Maybe.
I think in terms of aphorisms, count by count, I think
You would be the king's wit?
I think I would be the king's wit and Mark
Okay.
would lose and we'd be beheaded.
It'd be, well, I mean,
Or
we haven't
castrated.
made the guillotine. We haven't made the guillotine yet.
Maybe a post-trebuchet tete-a-tete.
We might borrow Saoirse McHugh's.
Does she have a guillotine?
Well, she likes them.
Well, that's the thing. Bring it back. I'm ready for the revolution.
Yes.
I don't know. I'll be on the committee of the revolution. I can't really do any like rough housing, but I am ready. There's never been a time more necessary for a revolution.
No.
We're ready to go.
There really hasn't. It is, yeah.
The government now. I'm sorry. We don't do too much news.
The
but like,
government.
the government in this country. I hate when someone says, "In this country, there's wealth in this country. In this country, in this country." But they just say here or whatever. We don't say that. Anyway, they're like, right. What about smaller flats? That is not the answer. We keep telling you what to do. You boys are messing during my political
No,
speech.
he's just, no.
No, we can still get this clipped.
If you don't
What
like
about a
country,
tiny-
Shane, just leave.
What?
Oh, you are fucking up.
No, go on. Sorry. You go on with your
just
your
go.
political speech.
Shane, just say what you were saying.
Yeah, I'm sorry. My arms are a bit...
There you go. And did you know that in hell, it's all too long, but in heaven, they give it...
We have queer activist Shane Daniel Byrne, who is on the
not an
podcast.
activist.
Ireland
who
says
is
no
going to
podcast.
be doing a political rousing speech for us. That is, of course, after Gino De Campo explains his new air fryer frozen meals.
I am not an activist.
You are.
I may be a queer. Sure, I'm a fag. But I'm not an activist.
You are an activist.
I am actually, I'm not.
An activist is something that someone has to tell you that you are, not something you can identify as. Like me being a rocker.
You little rocker.
I can't say I'm a rocker, but I am, and people can say that I'm a rocker or a goth.
You don't think you...
I was.
You were.
Emo?
Emo, I can't say I am emo, but if people were into calling me emo, I'd like that very much because I'm emo.
Right.
You understand?
Just
yeah.
call me Tony.
Just call me Tony.
Hey, just call me Tony.
Just call me Spaghetti.
Antonio. Just call me Antonio. My wife, yeah, she's getting angry at me. She films videos and then she gets angry at the reaction.
She's making me so crazy. She'll drive me up the wall.
But I love this lady.
She is not like a subservient. And wind me up. She do my head in.
Watch me as I burn a photo of Mussolini in front of my Italian husband and watch his reaction.
That's about right. I didn't like him.
I think Simon Harris should resign and I think he should take a gap year. He started too young.
Well, how old is he? 24?
No, he's like the same age as us, I think. Me and Tony, I mean, not you.
He's not the same age as you, is he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, but he's been there for too long that he did that too young. He needs a gap year.
Yeah.
Get out, and you need to go. I know he'll be Taoiseach again or whatever, but
Or
he
he
needs
to
to
go
get
to
out.
Copeland to get a better tailored suit. They'd be like, you know, what you normally wear? I normally kind of wear like my dad's suit. It's a bit
On
too big for
interview
me.
day.
And my arms coming hanging off the edge. And I kind of like to be like, oh, daddy, look, I'm daddy. When's he coming home from work? Daddy kind of thing.
His
So
brother
maybe
has the
smaller
same
cuffs.
voice as him.
Wild.
Yeah, and
That
I
often
can't
happens.
take him seriously. He runs a autism. Don't know if they're called charity or information or whatever they're called As I Am. And every time he's on the news to talk about that, I just like, I'm not taking this seriously because you just sound like the other fella. I can't take anything he says
Yeah.
seriously. He was on about like autism friendly running clubs they were setting up, and I was like, that's a good idea. But then I was like, that's a shit idea because I don't like your voice.
Yeah.
So I went against it.
So you're anti.
The whole thing is none of my
autism
business.
running clubs
I'm not autistic, so it's none of my business anyway. But I'm like, I'm opposed to that now
now. Yeah.
because of you have the same voice as your brother Simon.
Shane is an activist, but only against autism.
I am.
And charities.
Yeah,
That's
that is-
easy.
No,
No,
Only-
any support organisation, I'm against those. And the NGOs. I'm against NGOs
the
and the
NGOs.
Quangos. I'm against all that.
Tony and Andy have the same voice. Andy sounds a little bit more like you than you do.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
That's very true,
In
actually.
a weird
Yeah.
kind of way. It's kind of strange, but you're like, that really sounds... And then you hear his dad and you're like, oh, they both just sound like
I've
him.
never met your father.
You'd like him very much.
Well,
That's
He always says, that's Shane Daniel Byrne fella. Very funny.
well, thank you very much.
Is he?
Anthony?
Is he? I got a vibe off him.
Thank you very much, Mr. Cantwell. Oh, gee, Mr. Cantwell.
Oh,
Thank you so much, Mr. Cantwell.
Hey, I'm just here doing my little jokes, jokes for the king, but I guess you find them pretty entertaining.
I'm not even invited to the stag, but I'm worried about my position in the hierarchy. I'm still thinking about that Mark is already going to be the fool, and I want to be the fool. I'm not even going to the stag. I don't even know whose wedding it is.
You're not coming.
Is there a wedding involved?
Yes, there's a wedding involved. That's how generally how stags work.
What's the name of the groom?
The groom is Mark.
It was Mark's wedding.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right,
that's why
okay,
you're dressing
right.
him up as a fool, you see.
Yeah,
Very clever. That's why you're dressing him up as a fool.
Yeah,
A
we're doing
foolish
it with a
choice
fool.
to get married.
Anna was talking about the stag. She's like, "Are you going to do anything to involve Emer in it?" His wife to be, also my good friend, and Anna was like,
Maybe
"You
don't
got to do
reveal this.
something to kind of I don't know, involve Emer in it." And Anna was like, "Why don't you just like put like Emer's face on a chicken?"
Cool.
That's
Or-
actually a
or a
great
turkey.
idea.
Anna.
This is like moments before
Anna
falling
is the
asleep.
king of banter. She's
That's top
fucking,
banter.
That's top
Because
stuff.
obviously you don't want to do a Mr. and Mrs.
She actually,
She's a weird woman.
That's
She
gas.
is a weird
Yeah.
woman.
She's like, "Why didn't you put his face on a chicken?" That was like right before falling asleep. So just put her face on a chicken or a
Genius
turkey.
move. That's
And then
top banter.
Immediately fell asleep, and I was like, "Did you say that?" She did another one. She wanted us
Another
to drink. She wanted us to drink, and so she said, "Well, you know what they say: one beer won't kill the doctor."
Wow. That's brilliant.
Well, you know what they say. One beer won't kill the doctor.
That's the first time that's ever been said, actually, Anna. No one's ever said that before.
No one says that, but okay. No one says that. Okay, right. But I do like her instincts about putting the face on.
That's very good.
Chicken?
Well, does she mean like a rubber chicken, like like that, or
I don't know.
No, that's a very nice way. Like sometimes it's kind of like, would you do something for the bride? And it's you normally kind of like hen ideas and stuff like that, and they're suited to hens and not necessarily stags. But that seems like it's like how would I get a bunch of 23-year-old lads in a medieval castle to actually do something? And
Yes.
that is actually a very good idea.
Yeah.
they're
Put
older
her
than
head on
23, Tony.
Well, 23 and me, because I'm going as well.
You guys are
well.
coming.
I can't believe we weren't invited to stag. I met the chap once. You know,
Yeah, it is strange. It is strange.
to the musical.
Do you hope to wed?
My wife, my non-wife.
Well, you don't need to necessarily decide who yet, but at some stage, would you like to wed?
You mean Anna? I guess so. Yeah. I mean,
Wow.
would I like to be a married man? I think I like the idea of saying, my wife.
It's good.
I think that's something I wouldn't mind being able to go like, my fucking wife, my wife.
Yeah.
I gotta go, my wife. That kind of thing.
It's good.
I'm in my 30s and I'm still saying girlfriend and I say partner as well, but it's like I'd love to just be able to go, my wife.
My wife.
I had to buy some stuff for kids' toys for the stag, and
Jesus.
when I was younger, I'd be like, "Oh, I'm buying a load of kids' toys. It's embarrassing." Now I buy them, and they're like, for his kids.
Yeah.
Those toys are for his kids.
They're
Whose
for his
kids?
kids.
My kids.
Well, the assumption
Oh,
would be
yes, sorry,
Because I'm an
the
old
the
man.
cashier.
I went in. My mom got my brother for Christmas just like a couple of years ago one of the turtles because the turtles were back, and she
Oh,
just for a
nice.
fun extra thing
That's
she
lovely.
threw in. And I had such a good time in Smith's. Oh my God, I just really had such a good time going around looking at all the stuff.
Looking at
Like,
stuff.
that's so good. And I was on my own. It was early. I went in early morning, beat the rush. And she does help. You go in early morning. You know, the Christmas like,
Carrick
jam,
Mines?
can be jammed. No, I'd never go near Carrick Mines for any purpose at all. No disrespect to
I love
Carrick
it out
Mines
there.
and its people, but I just don't go there.
I love it out there.
Don't go there. There's a couple
love
of
the
places in
whole
Dublin I would try
industrial
not to
estate.
go to. I don't go to Phibsborough for things. I'm sorry, I don't go to Phibsborough.
You won't go to Phibsborough for
I'm
things?
going to Phibsborough for something shortly. Yeah, actually,
Why are you going to Phibsborough?
because you invite me to do something
12 for some.
I don't remember.
Well, for some.
in the Byrne Shaw.
Oh, yes. Oh, well, that's like next week. I
Is
thought
that-
that was today.
Oh no, what?
I thought that was... no, you were like,
Oh.
I'm going to Phibsborough today. And I was like,
I
what
said
the
shortly.
fuck did I invite you to?
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, yeah.
We're going to smoke rollies in Dailymount if you're around, Tony.
That sounds class. You guys
Oh,
better
we're
not
gonna
get
bang
all-
bang.
We're getting Oasis jerseys.
Are you?
Yeah.
Do you know what? That'd be a good. I was thinking that'd be a good stag gift for someone who's a Bose fan. Just putting like some fucking logo of theirs because they do it for anyone. I'd say they'd even mass produce them. You know, for the stag, their face on the. You know,
I can't wait for the Corona's Bose jersey.
can't wait.
Do you think there'll be one? They're Southsiders.
Where are they from?
House Cross Town Europe.
So it'll be a UCD.
They support the UCD.
I can't-
I love you and you love me. We are the boys of UCD.
Guys, you have to get the Corona's UCD jersey. It's unfucking believable. You have to get the Thrills UCD jersey.
The thrills. A few years ago, there was a big push on like go see the League of Ireland. It was like go see, get out there, and then that was quite successful. And now I think maybe everyone should go back and look at England again. It's become very annoying and territorial and parochial.
No, it's amazing. I love it so much.
Oh,
It's
there's
the
too
best
much
thing
the way
ever.
everyone hates.
You have to get the Hosier Bray Wanderers jersey. It's unfucking believable.
Yeah,
love
but
it.
it's not even about the football anymore. Sure, it's not. Game's gone.
Good.
You know what I mean?
Thank
Now it's all
fuck.
about
Can
the
we
other
talk?
stuff. It's about the ancillary stuff,
You
and
have
they all
to
go,
get the
hey.
I'm Grandmam Cork City jersey. It's so fucking good, guys.
There's a
It's
collab. I
fucking
would
very
buy
good
an
idea.
I'm Grandmam Cork City jersey.
that'd
I
be
would buy
class.
that.
Who do you support?
Don't make me say it. Don't make me say it. I will never tell. I like shells, but I also like bows. Yeah.
Sacrilege.
Yeah, well, it's hard when you grow up in the South. I mean, it's tough. It's tough there. One of
Do you
the
know what?
toughest things is
I'm
that
Rovers till I die.
Even
Rovers
though-
till I die.
You're Rovers.
Fuck bows.
Jesus
Bows are
Christ.
scum. Rovers till I die.
Even though like it is tough for everyone, say if you're looking to transition, for example, I actually think it's still tough
Your
for people.
gender?
Your gender.
Right.
I think that the hardest thing in the world to come out to your family about or to transition into is to change your football team. I feel like that is still the least, socially accepted thing is to actually just change your football team. I feel like you're ostracized, even if people didn't like your original team to begin with.
And you can email Tony at tonycampbell@gmail.com your opinions on what he
go.
just said. You can let them know directly.
Please.
Do not contact YHG Pod.
Please get on to me
about
directly about that.
As you know, my new policy, I don't respond when people complain. So you can complain directly to Tony.
Please, but no like stories about whatever fucking happened to you. Do you know what I mean? Just like facts, whatever.
No,
I know
yeah.
I'm wrong.
just a little message saying, Tony, you're so right. That's all he needs.
That'd be great, please. I won't be reading, just put it in the subject line, to be honest. I'm not going to be reading the whole email. And I just want to know how right I am. Thank you very much.
There's too much information in emails nowadays.
Far too much information. I don't want an email that says, hi, listen, when we started this club in 2016, or when I decided to launch Cookie Cream during the lockdown, I'm like, all right, what do you ask me?
I don't like automatic replies. I was saying it to Shane last night, but I find them a bit passive aggressive. There's just something a bit unbusy about them that I don't like. I mean, if you're away on holidays, fine, but when people have automatic replies sometimes when they're just very swamped. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Like I was saying to Shane, someone emailed me there yesterday. I replied within an hour. They emailed me asking me to do something. And I replied to them like within the hour going, yeah, I can't do that. And I got an automatic reply from them going, hey, sorry, I can't get back right now. I'm really busy. I'm like, you emailed me. I'm busy
I think
too.
that's because you never really did an officey job. So obviously people will be used to that. They just ignore that. They
I'm
wouldn't
an
care.
artist.
You're such a bohemian,
empath.
if you will.
Down and out in New York and Paris. That was my life,
You just need to hang up all your emotions for emails. Everyone does.
Yeah.
Just hang
But
it
even
up.
that,
It's not a real person.
yeah. I sometimes I think I've dehumanized the word. I told you yesterday I got this random text from the physio and I didn't book a physio. And it was like, your physio appointment's booked for tomorrow. And I'm just like so conscious of I don't want like wasted time. And then I rang them, they didn't answer, so I was like, whatever. And then she rang back, and I said, "Oh yeah." She's like, "I'm returning your call." And I said, "Oh yeah, I got the text, and it said an appointment, but I didn't make an appointment." She went, "And what's your name?" And I told her my name, and then she was like, "Okay, let me see." And then I could hear her typing, and I was like, "My job here is finished." So I said, "Okay, thank you very much." And she went, "I'm just trying to check," and I was like, "No, I'm finished." And I just hung up because I was like, this is no longer my concern. I've actually, there's no, I could have just ignored that text, but I was like, I don't want someone else to be discommoded, so I'll help. And then she was kind of holding me up. I was like, what am I doing? You have my name, you have my number, work away.
Yeah.
Work away, I'm out. And then but sometimes I'm like, someone who didn't pay me, I'm looking for money from somebody, I'm not saying where, but it's a venue in Cork. And I'm looking for money from them since I sent the first invoice in November. So I'm looking for November I think. So looking to get paid for that. So they sent me an email chain of out of offices that say I don't work here anymore.
Yeah.
I'm on to the fourth person.
Okay.
So I've sent them, hello, please pay this invoice. He got a strict one going, hello, pay this invoice. These invoices,
Wow.
plural.
Invoices.
People who are real super Shane Kenna fans will be piecing together. Where did he gig twice? It's not a comedy club anyway. And I'm getting so close to
Cork
saying,
City. He played up front for Cork City for 2 games.
yeah, and I haven't been paid.
And he got a hat trick and he didn't get paid.
I haven't been paid by Cork City, so
It was like a Palestine charity match, and he's like, "Where's my money? Where's my fucking money?"
I'm always jealous of those charities. I'd love to do one of them, but I can't play football.
I'd
But anyway,
absolutely love to
I'm
do my
strict
good at
on
football
the
as well.
I'm strict on the
I was talking
emails.
to someone who said they played with you in a 5-a-side once,
Yeah.
and
that you were a
Who was it
hacker
they said it
and
to
you were
me?
Gloria.
Yeah, that might be true.
I
Don't
mean,
deny it.
Mark said he played with you a few years ago, and he's like, he's pretty good actually.
Yeah, I am.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm pretty fucking good.
I know. I didn't believe you when you told us.
Can you do volleys?
I can do volleys. I can do scissor kicks.
Real test.
Yeah.
Do you do samba soccer summer camp?
No,
Did you
no,
do
I
samba
didn't.
soccer?
No. And I did the Kula GAA camp, and we used to walk past those samba soccer people. And do you know what we said? We said, samba sucker.
That's racist.
Homophobic
So
as well, I think.
We used to say samba suckers.
Yeah,
Wow.
because they're dicks.
Well, we were 6 and 7, so I don't think we were really, that's what we were really implying.
But it's ingrained. Where did you get that from? You homophobic parents.
That's true. Yeah.
It's the same as when it sounds very light. It's the same when like an old woman is like taking money out of her purse and she drops like 2 cents and she's like, "Oh bugger," She's like fucking anal sex.
It's now that I remember it was the Kula kids camp was deeply homophobic. So that's maybe there's something in that. Yeah.
There's only the 2 gay GAA fellas and their brothers.
Oh,
Aren't they both gay? Those fellas?
Brogan,
Logue?
Alan Brogan and
No,
Alan
not the
Brogan.
Byrne Brogan.
Byrne Brogan and Alan Brogan. Okay.
No, they're gay together. There's somebody in my brother's class when Jedward were on TV, when Jedward were in the height of X Factor, somebody said this. I mean, it's terribly homophobic and weird, but someone in his class said, "Oh, imagine that having 2 gay kids and they're fucking each other." He just thought that's what was real.
Jesus.
That they're obviously gay and fucking each other. So there you go. I know you're a friend of Jedward's, Killian.
Well, as a queer activist, Shane, I think you and your brother need to go on Ireland AM and confirm the fact that there can be 2 gay brothers who have independent partners. Because a lot of people don't know. A lot of people don't know. And I think that's a perfect opportunity. Yeah,
it's like, this is like Shane really needs, he's like, how do I get on TV again? How do I get on TV again? Yeah, that's right, Marion. You can have 2 gay brothers and they don't.
No
they have
relationship
independent
whatsoever.
partners, sure.
Mm-hmm. Shane hates
Shane
this.
is
He's
not
going to have us
enjoying
cut
this.
it.
He's not enjoying
Thank you for
this.
listening to the podcast today and over the last nearly 2 years. This will be the last episode of the podcast.
Well, look, went out on a
because
high.
I feel like, no, actually, do you know what? You were at me from the get-go on this.
The gecko.
What do you mean
From the get-go. You were at me from the get-go on this.
I think if you
came
roll back
swinging-
the tape, you'll hear...
You came swinging for me from the beginning.
No. If you
No,
roll back
baby.
the tape, you'll hear within the first 5 seconds, me and Tony were having a little discussion, and then Tony said, "Why aren't you talking, Shane?" And you said, "Because you guys are boring." And then we went defensive. So actually...
Why don't you roll back the tape? I said, nothing has happened that would enthuse me to join in the conversation.
Why don't you roll back to the tape from before we did this podcast and before we even knew each other, and then think about how nice that was?
Guys, can I? Hands.
Okay.
Peep, peep, peep. There happens a leap.
It really does have a calming effect.
Listen, Slán, go bravely into that night, and we love you. And best of luck, Killian.
Thank you. Fail
With the stag.
better.
Buy loads of
peace
tickets.
to love and serve.
We love you very much.
I am the master of my fate, captain of my soul.
Bye.
They're attractive. They're very attractive.
Hot and loud.
And a little bit sad.
He was the best guy around.
Oh my, is it hot in here or what?
You're an attractive guy.
It's the fabulous Tony
I'm
Cantwell.
talking about Shane Daniel Byrne.
Killian and Tony!